Hey friend, I'm Mr. Martin and this is Reading Like an Actor. Today we're going to read a great story called The Three Little Wolves and the Big Bad Pig. So today I'm going to take you through this book. We're going to slowly read it and I'm going to teach you how to think about the story like an actor would think about this story.
Boat! A boat! The gods have given me
One thing to think about is the title of the book. Anytime I pick up a book and I want to read it like an actor, the first thing I look at is the title. So this is called Three Little Wolves, so I know there's three wolves that are characters. And a big, what? Bad pig. So what do I know about wolves? Wolves are kind of like dogs. So they do dog-like things. Maybe they pant or howl. What else do we know? Pig. This is not just any pig. It's a big and bad pig. What's a pig like? Pigs make what noise? Oink? Okay, so now I have some idea about what wolves sound like, look like, maybe think like, and also what a pig sounds like, looks like, maybe thinks like. So we have a lot of information and a lot of ideas right away before we even started reading the book. So let's go to the first page. The Three Little Wolves and the Big Bad Pig by Eugene Trivizas, illustrated by Helen Oxenbury. Once upon a time, there were three cuddly little wolves with soft fur and fluffy tails who lived with their mother. Oh my gosh, that was such a long sentence, and it has so much information. So what do we know now that we read just the first sentence of the story? Once upon a time, so that means it was a long time ago, right? Not today. So perhaps things are a little bit different in that time. There were three cuddly little wolves. Now, I don't know about any wolves you've seen, but wolves I have seen are anything but cuddly, little, soft, fluffy. These sound like really nice wolves. And what else do we know? They live with Mommy. So not only are our wolves very, very nice and very cool, they seem to have a great family relationship, isn't that nice? And they live with their mother. So let's read the second sentence. Okay. The first was black. Remember, we're talking about these three cuddly little wolves with soft fur. The first was black. The second was gray. And the third was white. So now we know we have three cuddly little wolves that are super soft and nice, who live with their mother, and they're all a different color. How convenient. So now we can tell them apart by their color. But I'm an actor, and if I don't have costume or makeup, how am I supposed to show that I am acting like a wolf that is gray or black or white? I don't know. So maybe we need to find out more about the gray wolf, the black wolf, and the white wolf so that we can see how we as actors will be able to act out as those wolves. Okay. One day, The mother called the three little wolves around her and said, "Oh, I'm nervous now because now we have something called dialogue." And dialogue is when the characters speak a word. So we know they're going to speak a word because the sentence says that. And said, SAID, and then there's a comma and opening quotation marks. So that's mother's line. Lines are the words that the actors say. So now we know mother has a line. So we need to decide what a mother might sound like. And maybe the first choice we make isn't the best choice, but first thing we do as an actor when we have to say a line is to think about who is speaking the line, mother, and what is she saying? So let's look at her line. One day the mother called the three little wolves around her and said, and I'm going to try to do a mother voice, "My children, it is time for you to go out into the world." Let's flip the script here. My mother does not sound like that. And what is she saying? They live with the mother, and now she's telling them it's time for you to go out into the world. You need to move out, is what mother is saying to her three little cuddly, fluffy, sweet, nice, furry, fuzzy children who are black, gray, and white. My children, it is time for you to go out into the world. Go and build a house for yourselves, but beware the big bad pig. So now we know something interesting about this story is, yes, it's time for these wolves to go out. I don't know why. I'm going to have to decide, why does the mother want them to move out? Especially if there's something so dangerous. So they're probably old enough to take care of themselves. So now I can assume that my wolves are older and not children, because they're getting kicked out by their mom. So they're not babies. So this mother is saying, "All right, my grown-up wolf children, you've lived with me long enough. Now let's get on out and start your own life." I wish she had suggested they possibly apply to college and pursue an education, but in this case, finding some real estate and starting your life is not really a bad financial decision. So let's continue. Remember, she said, and I quote, "But beware of the big bad pig." And now we have another line, but we don't know who says this yet. But it starts with opening quotations, so I know that's dialogue. "Don't worry, mother. We will watch out for him." Don't worry, mother. We will watch out for him. You know, you can just say lines over and over again until you like how they sound. I think that's okay as an actor. Don't worry, mother. We will watch out for him. See, that's important to know. If they're saying don't worry, then you have to act like you're trying to get someone not to worry. And if I want someone not to worry, maybe I'll slow down and be more calm. Mother, don't worry. We will watch out for him. And the three little wolves set off. So they said, "Man, we'll see you later, Mom. We're gonna go do what you asked us to do, start a new house and go along. Don't worry, it's totally chill. We are going to be on the lookout for the big bad pig, okay?" What I just did is called paraphrasing, and you can do that anytime you're in practice, if you're practicing and you just want to feel more like the character, just start talking about what's happening in the scene. Because what's happening? I'm a wolf. My mom just told me I need to move out and build my own house. And she's also like, there's a big bad pig you need to watch out for. So I'm like, Mom, it's cool. Like, I'm grown. You're right. It's time for me to move out. So I'm going to go out and build my house while also being on the lookout for what you call a big bad pig. Soon, they met a kangaroo. Now, let's talk about this kangaroo. So now I know there's a new character called Kangaroo. Kangaroos do what? Hop. Oh, kangaroos hop. What do they look like? Do they look like this? Or do they look like this? Kangaroos love to punch, and box, and jump. So now I'm thinking a little bit about how I, as an actor, can become a kangaroo. What a cool thing. That's why I like acting, because I get to be any animal I want to be if it's in my script. Okay. Soon, they met a kangaroo who was pushing a wheelbarrow. What's a wheelbarrow? I know, it's one of those things you use in the garden, and it has a wheel on the front and 2 legs on the back. And you pick it up from the sides and you push it around. And you probably fill it up with dirt or something. And if you need to dump it, you just tip it up and dump it. So see what I did there? That's called pantomime. Pantomime is when you just make up imaginary objects that are around you or that you use, like a glass. So now I know. I have a kangaroo pushing a wheelbarrow. How hard is that? So remember your kangaroo. I love it. Now he's a kangaroo who has to push a wheelbarrow. Hop, hop, hop. Let's keep going and see what he says. Soon they met a kangaroo who was pushing a wheelbarrow full of red and yellow bricks. Now we have one of our wolf friends here to speak a line. Please, will you give us some of your bricks? Asked the 3 little wolves. And so far, all 3 of the wolves say the same lines at the same time. So if you're playing this book alone, then you obviously can only have one voice at a time. So you have to decide, what are my wolves going to sound like? If you have other people in your scene, then you can speak those words at the same time, because you're all wolves, so all the wolves always speak at the same time so far in the book. Please, will you give us some of your bricks? Asked the 3 little wolves. Now, the way I'm asking is they sound a little bit desperate for these bricks. And I'm wondering, are they desperate yet? Are they? So they're coming for bricks, but it seems like that's their first option. Like, they just left and they're kind of walking around looking. So for my story, probably the characters aren't experiencing a lot of emotion, except for the emotion of having to leave their home. But if I was leaving home as a young wolf, coming into my adult wolfhood, then I would probably feel kind of excited and determined. And so let's go with that choice, that our little wolves are determined to get out there and build their homes. All right. Please, will you give us some bricks? Asked the 3 little wolves. Certainly! Where are kangaroos from? Australia! Now, I don't know about you, but I personally really enjoy putting on an Australian accent. And I'm not saying that you also need to have an Australian accent, but I'd say if you're able to pull it off, even in the slightest, then give it a try. Why not? You might have a very interesting character to play. So, let's go back here to our little play, and I'm gonna do my kangaroo like this. Alright, here we go. Please, will you give us some bricks? Asked the three little wolves. Certainly, said the kangaroo. And she gave them lots of red and yellow bricks. Now, see what happens when you continue to read? I discovered that this kangaroo, oh, I could have looked at the picture. This kangaroo is a woman. She is, in fact, a mother. Her little baby's in the pouch. That is so adorable. This kangaroo is a woman. How did I miss it? Okay, so let's go back. What does an Australian mama kangaroo sound like? This is exciting and very challenging for actors. An Australian mama kangaroo. Let's go back. Because remember, when we're practicing, we can go back. We can go back to the beginning. We can go back by a couple lines. We can go to one page behind. Or we can jump forward if we need. But this is just practice. So now my first try isn't going to work. Because that doesn't work for the character. Because this character is a woman. So I now have to decide, how is my Australian accent going to sound more like a woman? So here I've got it. This is an Australian woman, and I'm sorry if I offended any Australians, but here we go. Please, will you give us some of your bricks? Certainly, said the kangaroo, and she gave them lots of red and yellow bricks, so the three little wolves built themselves a house of bricks. Now I realize that was a lot of acting work for just one word that she says, but that's the name of the game. It's all about having fun with the words. So the three little wolves built themselves a house of bricks. The very next day, the big bad pig came prowling down the road and saw the house of bricks that the little wolves had built. Now, I'm sorry, I got very, very afraid just now. So that's what happened to me as I was reading this for the first time. Is I turned the page and I see this scary picture of a big bad pig. So all I can think of is how scared I am. The very next day, the big bad pig came prowling down the road and saw the house of bricks that the little wolves had built. Now let's talk about this big bad pig. He came what? Prowling. What does prowling mean? Like a cat? He's on a hunt. So if I'm a pig, and I'm big, and I'm bad, then I'm probably big, and bad, and moving around, taking up a lot of space. Yeah, here I come, looking for my next victim. What a bully, huh? He came out to be a real big bully. What a pig. What a pig. The three little wolves were playing croquet. Croquet is a fun little lawn sport. I encourage you to look it up. It's not very common, but I think some wolves who play croquet are very nice and very sweet, don't you? And here comes this big, bad pig to ruin their very nice afternoon game. The three little wolves were playing croquet in the garden. When they saw the big bad pig coming, they ran inside the house and locked the door. That is some serious action right there. They are playing croquet, like, you know, it's, I don't know, maybe it's like a little tiny golf, but with like big giant hammers. Doesn't make any sense to me. So they're like, ha 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 ha, playing croquet and sipping some tea or lemonade in the yard, in the garden, yes, and the flowers are blooming, and the bees are buzzing, and the birds are chirping, and boom, 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 boom! They ran inside the house and locked the door. The pig knocked on the door and grunted, little wolves, let me come in." "No, no, no," said the three little wolves. Now, they're very scared, don't you think? If I was in the position of those wolves, I would be terrified if a big, bad, scary bully was boom, boom, boom on my door. Wouldn't you? Lock, 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 lock. No, 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 no. Not today, Mr. Piggy. Boom, boom, boom. Little wolves, let me come in. No, 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 said the three little wolves. By the hair on our chinny chin chins, we will not let you in. Not for all the tea leaves in our china teapot. So actually I was right. They were drinking tea. So no, 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 no. Now there's an interesting idea. How about these wolves aren't so nice after all? Even though the story is told like, hey, they're so wonderful, they're so fluffy and nice. But what if in reality they are actually also like a little bit annoying? And they just bother the pig too. I mean, he started it, right? He just came banging on the door and they were doing nothing. But no, 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 Mr. Pig, you will not. Oh, I like that. Remember, our wolves were determined. We did make that choice. Our wolves are determined to succeed, and this big bad wolf is seemingly only interested in ruining their success. So let's continue. No, 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 said the three little wolves. By the hair on our chinny chin chins, we will not let you in, not for the tea leaves in our china teapot. So now the pig has asked to be let in, and he's been met with the answer, no, you're not coming in. So what happens when you want something and you don't get it? Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house down, said the pig. So he huffed, and he puffed, and he huffed, but the house didn't fall down. Now I have to say, I am very surprised by that. That was an expectation that I had that was broken to surprise me. How exciting to have a surprise! Their house didn't blow down. Whew. But the pig wasn't called big and bad for nothing. He went and fetched his sledgehammer, and he knocked the house down. The three little wolves only just managed to escape with their very lives before the bricks crumbled. And they were very frightened indeed. We shall build a stronger house, they said. And then, just then, they saw a beaver Oh, a new character. They saw a beaver who was mixing concrete in a concrete mixer. Wow, how lucky! Here we go, coming away from this horrible, horrible accident that this pig just came and smashed our home, and we really need to build a better, stronger home, and there it is. Mr. or Mrs. or Miss Beaver mixing concrete. Perfect. So I should be very excited if I'm playing the wolf, because I'm the actor playing the wolf. So I have to be so happy when something good happens, and so upset when something bad happens, or so scared when something scary comes along. So here we go. We shall have to build a stronger house, they said. Just then they saw a beaver who was mixing concrete in a concrete mixer. Please, will you give us some of your concrete? Asked the three little wolves. Mm-hmm. Certainly, said the beaver, and he gave them buckets and buckets full of messy, slurry concrete. So the three little wolves built themselves a house of concrete. No sooner had they finished than the big bad pig came prowling down the road and saw the house of concrete that the little wolves had built. They were playing battledore and shuttlecock in the garden, and when they saw the big bad pig coming, they ran inside and shut the door